Hey, folks, welcome back. And choice privileges isn't the first hotel program that most people think of here in the United States. When you think of major hotel programs, you think of Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, IHG. Maybe Wyndham falls in there somewhere for you, potentially some others. But Choice Hotels today has made big announcements that will completely change their program in 2026. And they have one or two things here that I think are going to potentially be game changers or things that other hotel brands need to look at going forward or potentially need to look at going forward. Choice is a program that transfers 1-2 with Citi and Wells Fargo. It transfers 1-1 with Capital One. It has pretty high-end properties with their Cambria and Ascent collections. You also have Radisson collections here in the United States. Radisson outside of the United States is not necessarily Choice. They also have a relationship with I Prefer, where you can book I Prefer hotels through Choice privileges with using your Choice points. You can use your points to bid on experiences in sports like NASCAR events, college football, regular. I think you can also do NFL tickets using Choice privileges points. It's a pretty robust program is what I'm trying to say. Also in Scandinavia, the Strawberry Hotel brand out there is also Choice Hotels. So lots of options with Choice. So let's go over the changes that are coming. The Choice Privilege program is getting a major overhaul next year. Just jumping into things, set to launch in early 2026, the new Choice Privileges program will implement significant changes that will complement what the chain says its guests place a high value on: flexibility, frequent recognition, and experiences beyond the room. Here's what you can expect when the overhaul program launches. Rewards: every 5 nights you stay, you'll earn a special reward such as bonus points or gift cards. Elite status comes quick. Choice Privilege members will qualify for Gold Elite status after staying just 5 nights, Platinum Elite status after 15 nights, Diamond Elite status after 35 nights, and they're going to be introducing a new tier above Diamond. So Diamond will no longer be their top tier. They have knocked down the number of nights required by 5 across the board, making it easier to attain status. Elite benefits include preferred parking, whatever that means, room upgrades, and welcome gifts. You can earn status in other ways. Aside from hotel stays, members can earn elite qualifying credits from spending on the Choice Privileges MasterCard. When I come back to that I think is potentially a game changer. You're also going to get a new top tier titanium status at 55 nights or 110,000 elite qualifying credits. Members will achieve titanium's elite status, a brand new tier in the program. It introduces a revolutionary new benefit, the Titanium Travel Award, which allows members to book a room at more than 400 premium properties for half the points. This includes brands like Cambria, Radisson Blue, and Blue Green Vacations. This is also definitely new. No other hotel chain that I know of has a benefit like this. This is also potentially game changing. Repeat stay bonus: members will get 1,000 bonus points after their second and third qualifying stays each year. Soft landings for elite members: elite members will not lose their status entirely if their travel decreases from 2027 on. Elite members will drop 1 tier per year. Also, elite members' points will never expire. Point sharing coming later in 2026. Choice Privileges will launch the capability to transfer points to friends and family. That is not new across the board. Marriott and Hilton have easy point transfers. IHG, it's a little bit of an annoyance. You both have to have status with IHG, if I remember correctly, and transferring from business to personal accounts is a little bit of a pain. And then Hyatt, you have to fill out a form and then send it to Hyatt. And then maybe they'll get back to you about moving your points between friends and family. So good on Choice for introducing points pooling. Now, elite qualifying credits is interesting. Now, the number for titanium is going to be 110,000. I don't know how quickly one can accrue those credits. I don't know how it's going to break down, but I have a feeling that it's going to take a page from airline spend. If you look at the Delta Reserve and the Club Infinite card from United, every $10 that you spend on the Delta Reserve equals 1 medallion qualifying dollar. Every $15 you spend on the Club Infinite equals 1 PQP. Other airlines have the same sort of thing. TrueBlue has spend $1,000 on the credit card, get 1 tile, or spend $100 through JetBlue and get 1 tile. American Airlines has their loyalty points, where you get 1 loyalty point for every base mile earned. It doesn't go to the multipliers, but 1 loyalty point for every base mile earned. I'd be interested to see what Choice is going to do, because this is in collaboration with Wells Fargo, who issues the Choice MasterCards. So I have to assume that the $99 or $95 annual fee card is going to have a higher elite qualifying credit earning, obviously. So something like every $20 on that will equal 1 elite qualifying credit, hypothetically. And on the no annual fee card, you probably have to spend 50 or 100, which would be a pain, but makes sense. And then there's room to maybe add a higher tier Choice card potentially that could amplify that. But I'm very curious to see what that elite qualifying credit is going to look like. Do your bonus miles get you extra? Do they do it on bonus? Because that card gives you 5 times points on like home and improvement stores, cell phone bills, I want to say gas, and a couple of others. So are you also getting like status points with that spend? If you are, that makes that card infinitely more interesting, right? Going forward. And it's Choice and potentially Wells Fargo making a play to get more of your spend on that card if you are somebody who was willing to be a devotee to Choice. Now, do I think Choice is going to win significant business with this? Not necessarily, but they could influence the rest of the market. That could be interesting. Now, the Titanium Award travel, where 400 plus properties that are premium are going to be able to be booked with half the points, that is really intriguing. Not necessarily, again, for Choice, but that is definitely something that Marriott, who has had their points, Marriott points have particular value, and they can be some of the most valuable points in the game if you're not using them to stay at Marriott's, if you're using them to transfer out to their various airline partners, because they have a 3-to-1 rate as opposed to Hyatt that has a 5-to-1 or 5-to-2 rate depending on the airline in question, or Hilton that has a ridiculous 10-to-1. Marriott points are very valuable in transferring them out to airlines. For stays at Marriott's, if you cherry pick things the right way, you can get around a cent per point, but you're more likely getting like 0.77 cents per point. Choice is now giving you the option at these resorts with Titanium, with their new Titanium status, to get quite a bit more for your points, and it's rewarding you for being a loyal member. And that could be a play as well for them to increase business. Is it going to be a huge play? No, Hyatt still exists, and Marriott and Hilton run a lot of the hotel spend and hotel contracts in the United States. So do they have to take this on? Not necessarily, but could they start losing business from this? Potentially. It really depends on how easy it's going to be to get to that 110,000 qualifying credit, because I don't know too many people who are going to spend 55 nights a year at Choice properties over Hyatt's, Hilton's, Marriott's, IHG's, some Wyndham's, depending on what things look like. But yeah, it's an interesting play by Choice, and I think that the credit card spend aspect of things is pretty easy to replicate across the board. If you could, Hilton doesn't have to worry about this, right? But with Hyatt, if you could spend your way toward Hyatt status, a lot of folks would do that. Now, it's easy to stay at Hyatt's as well. The problem with Hyatt is that Hyatt's footprint is not Hilton or Marriott's. If Marriott were to bring in if you've got Marriott Titanium and you could get 50% off, your point stays at the JW, the Ritz, the W hotels, Westins, all of those higher tier Marriott properties, that is a huge reason to stay within Marriott and continue there, like push to platinum or push to titanium every year. If Titanium with Marriott did the same sort of thing that Choice is proposing with their new Titanium status. Same thing with Hyatt. If Hyatt Globalist allowed you to get a further reduction in the number of points necessary to book Park Hyatts and Category 8 hotels, that would be huge. Same thing with Hilton and Diamond members. If there was a 50% Diamond discount on point stays at higher tier properties like the Conrads, the Waldorfs, the LXRs, the Crockfords attached to Conrads or LXRs, the various resorts, the all-inclusives, if those could get that 50% point redemption for diamonds, or maybe they put something in over diamond, I don't know, but it gives you a reason to stay further with the chain in question, right? I think those two items that Choice is introducing are going to be very influential in 2026 and 2027 going forward. It's going to depend on if Choice sees significant changes with their customers' behavior and if they start peeling off customers from other companies. It doesn't take much for a company to see that something is worth investing into or something is worth stealing. If you're losing 1 to 2% of your customer base that was previously staying with you, but now they're going to Choice because it's easier to spend towards status with Choice, or their tiers are a little bit lower, so it's much easier for them to get status there, or you can mix the nights required and the elite qualifying credit. I don't think you can, but if that's how this is going to play out, if you lose 1 or 2% of your customer base, you're going to implement something to bring those people back because they were with you until something changed. If you implement the same sort of thing, you can probably more easily bring them back than have to go out and get new customers. So I do think this elite qualifying credit and seeing how Choice and Wells Fargo implement it will be very interesting, because I think that could change some of the other cards and some of the other issuers' behaviors with their cards. You could see one base or qualifying point per dollar base on the Hyatt card from Chase and Hyatt, where not only is every base mile is a base mile, right, for bonus, but that's bonus plus base. Take the American Airlines strategy that Hyatt and American are very tight. So you could see that move start to go forward. You could see something like Marriott take on, I don't think you're going to see Marriott take on spend to status. Maybe they do, just so that, they can secure more spend on their cards and encourage people to put spend on their cards. You could possibly see that, but I do think Marriott and Hilton would be more likely to go after what's our top tier? They all get a 50% point discount going forward for booking, and that is a reason to make gold want to go to diamond with Hilton. That is a reason for you to go from platinum to titanium with Marriott. You want to bank those stays and get folks staying with you more, get folks interested in your program more, give your points a little bit more juice, getting that discount. Now, might be a problem on the Marriott side. I don't know how many titanium members they have overall, but could be a thing. Anyway, I'm very interested to see how these Choice changes are implemented. Does this make me want to go out and get the Choice credit card? No, not necessarily, but it does make me interested to see what Choice is going to do and how Choice approaches this, especially with this 50% discount for titanium members. As they grow titanium, they might know that it might be a money loser for years 1, 2, and 3, but if they're getting more people coming over and getting titanium status, that's business that wasn't previously there. It's worth that investment and that money lost if you can make that up in the long term. We'll see what happens. But that's going to do it for this one. If you like what I do, hit the subscribe button down below. If you see a hype button while browsing on mobile, please hit the hype button. Every little bit will help. Looking to continue growing the channel. Check me out on Stack Your Points. We record on Mondays, we release Wednesdays and Fridays here on YouTube. We do a live on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Check that out. If you want to support me here on YouTube, channel membership, and if you want to support me outside of YouTube, check out the pinned comment. Many links that will help me, whether it is or my link tree, which has all of my Chase and Amex links. I think my Bilt link is in there as well, whatever. And I have a top cashback link as well. Thanks for your time. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.